I love short ribs of beef. I love them with lots of fruit in them sometimes and red wine. Today I'm going to do both, a little cherry and a little red wine. So I hope you'll enjoy this. I have some short ribs here and I'm just going to sprinkle them with a little salt and pepper, put them in a little flour, and then sear them in my hot pan. So let's get started. A little salt and pepper, and I'll just keep that going as I move those ribs around a little bit. Anytime you can, get a nice short rib, but if you can't find short ribs and you want to make kind of a mock short rib, you can use sirloin steak. Just those nice thick pieces of sirloin will work great for this. I know because I've had to do it in the past. All right, so let's just roll that in a little bit of flour, and we've got our pan getting nice and hot. And I'm just trying to sear this a little bit all over. Okay. I'm pairing this up with a beautiful Cab Franc. And Cab Franc with meat like this, just delicious. So let's get that into that nice hot pan. We're gonna let it sear for just a couple of minutes, and we're gonna put a little onion in it as well. Just the right size pan. If you don't have the right size pan, just work in little batches and get everything into your roasting pan and you'll be fine. All right, let's get these just flipped. Yep. They're seared up enough. What I'm trying to do is cook the flour on the top and bottom. It will cook long enough in the oven that the flour will cook through. And the marking on this meat, sometimes I think it matters, but most of the time I think it doesn't. As long as they're seared a little bit, you're going to get color as you go through with the baking process. And what you're doing here is really braising. You're cooking in a liquid, and it's just so delicious. So once we have a little bit of color on both sides, let's just move those straight over to a pan. And I'll just bring this over so I can get to it a little more easily. There we go. Like I said, I love short ribs all sorts of ways. I don't mind when my short ribs fall apart and it's almost like barbecue. To me, they're just delicious any way I can get them. Now let's just force that last one into the pan. Okay, now I'm gonna take that onion, one onion. It's just a large onion that I've chopped up, and we're just gonna saute that ever so slightly and put in a little tomato paste. The tomato paste is gonna give us a little extra richness. And what I'm doing here is really just kind of bringing these bits up off of the bottom of the pan. So 2 tablespoons of tomato paste in with that one large onion. I'm not looking to cook these totally. Like I said, I just want to bring the bits up off of the bottom of the pan. I want to get a little extra heat on that tomato paste so that you get the sweetness that comes out of the sugar in the tomato. And then let's add 1 cup of red wine to that. That'll bring up the rest. Now I've reduced this down just for a couple of minutes, so it's nice and thick. All of those bits have come up off the bottom, and I'm going to pour that right over top of my meat. All right, let's spread those onions out. Oh, this looks so amazing. And the next thing I want to do is put about 1.5 to 2 cups of frozen sweet dark cherries, just right on top. I know it sounds odd, but I love fruit in this because I think it enhances the flavor of the sauce, and it also just adds a little dimension to the texture. And cherry with Cab Franc, are you kidding? It's perfect. I love it. Okay, now 2 cups of a nice bold beef stock. And I'm going to put this in the oven at 350 degrees for about 2.5 to 3 hours. I'll make sure I check it occasionally so those cherries don't burn. And then I'll be back to plate up. Now let's plate these beautiful ribs. You can just see how they're falling apart. They're so tender and delicious. Now let's take some noodles, just some nice egg noodles, some green peas, and I just tossed these together. And we'll build a little plate right there. And then let's top that with some of our beef. Oh, it just looks absolutely amazing. And this sauce is going to be incredible, I can tell. Wow. So let's just ladle up some of that cherry and onion sauce. It's just so beautiful. Oh my goodness. Just pour a little bit all around. So with this, I don't even need a knife. I can see that it's just so fork tender. Look at that. Beautiful. It's just incredible. Oh my goodness. And so hot. Oh my goodness. You're going to love this. So let's try this with a little Cab Franc. With those dark cherry flavors of Cab Franc, that beautiful berry aroma and that intensity of flavor. It's going to be perfect with this beef, I know. Yep, right on the money. Oh my goodness, this is so delicious. So next time you want a short rib of beef, try this recipe and pair it up with a delicious Virginia Cab Franc.